The following is a Fox 54 Plus special presentation.
They are some of the best educators North Alabama has to offer.
It's just so much fun to see the kids just having a blast.
All school year long, we've been introducing you to stellar teachers.
I've always wanted to be a teacher. I have teaching in my family.
People who take their passion for learning and care for their pupils.
I want to do something that I could give a kid something to have for the rest of their life.
And help develop the minds of our next generation.
I know what makes them tick. I know when they get it.
And if we respect them, they're going to respect us.
I just hope they know that I will always be of service to them.
These are the men and women you have nominated to be the Valley's top teacher class of 22-23. Welcome to our ceremonial cyber, if you will, Valley's top teacher graduation. I'm Kenesha Dees, and in the sake of all things pomp and circumstance, you can say I'm the commencement speaker. I've mentioned this before, I have a soft spot for teachers. I was raised by one who is also from Alabama. Today, we'll revisit this year's Valley's top teacher honorees for the past 8 months. And without further ado, here's our class of 2022-23. We kick off September with this bunch, including a veteran teacher of 15 years to another with 4 years under her belt. Check out our first group.
Miss Tate,
yes, love.
You're not going to believe this.
Hello.
But we have a surprise for you.
What?
You have been named Fox 54 Valley Top Teacher of the Week.
What?
Yes.
Meet Mrs. Mary Tate.
I've been teaching for a long time. I opened this school. I was one of the original teachers that opened Mount Carmel when we got here. There's only like 2 of us left.
Every year, Mrs. Tate
Right.
has welcomed in a new class of first graders for 15 years.
Slide.
to Carmel.
Now let's do she. Oh,
This
there you go,
community
Tate.
is close to home for her.
I grew up in New Market. I went to school at New Market. I'm a Buckhorn Buck, and I'm a community person. I had to go home. I had to go home and do what was done for me.
Mrs. Tate knew teaching was her calling when she was once a student.
I grew up in the projects, and I had teachers that said, you do this, you win. You do this, they can't stop you. You do this, you won't be in the cycle. Break the cycle. I broke the cycle, and now I'm breaking cycles. And I'm helping children climb to where they can go.
Tate knows teaching goes beyond the walls of her classroom and the school.
When their parents know that my #1 job and my #1 goal is to make sure they are successful. And they know when they walk in here on orientation day, like you said, you're a hugger. I hug every one of them because those parents become part of my family.
Mr. Marks. Mr. Marks, I'd like to congratulate you. You've been nominated for Fox 54 Valley Top Teacher.
Wow, thank you.
Meet Mr. Lucas Marks.
This is my 6th year of teaching out at Central.
Marks says he grew up with a lot of farming equipment and machinery. It's what gave him the spark to translate what he knows to science and now to students.
I guess just being able to pass on knowledge of how things work and seeing the kids get to enjoy doing something that's real life. In robotics, we get to enjoy designing things and building things from scratch.
I like it, but I do believe we are building a Zabos. They made it an anagram of Bezos. Basically, we're building a robot that is moving things that will go to build another robot, in theory, if this was actual instead of just an example.
Junior Cole Jenkins has been in the robotics program for 2 years. He gives us a picture of what it's like having Marks as his teacher.
He's good at making sure we understand things hands-on, making sure we don't hurt anybody or ourselves. You know, he took over from a lady who did a wonderful job with our robotics program.
Principal Dwayne Keener says this program is great exposure to students beyond high school.
Just opening doors and opening these kids' eyes on that there are multiple things that they can do in the future by being in robotics.
Well, I love coming and being with kids. I always said if I turn into one of those teachers that hates getting up to come to work every morning, then I was going to quit and find something else to do. But just getting to see them learn and to be able to do something that they enjoy.
When you walk into Letha Lewis's classroom,
All right, so this is your time to shine.
Not only is it filled with sunshine, if you can't tell already,
Miss Lewis is a ray of sunshine. She's always willing to do whatever.
her love for teaching started when she was once a student.
I had the most fantastic third grade teacher. Her name was Angela Wynn. Okay, thumbs up when you're ready. She made learning fun. She loved every student equally, and just made learning come to life.
Lewis's inspiration compelled her to do what she loves year after year.
This is year 18. Yes, so I have to think about it sometimes. I forget.
She believes that she's more than a teacher to her students.
I tell them that I'm their school mom.
But Lewis says COVID has been a challenge during the past few school years.
I think that we're just still trying to gain that ground that was lost from that time. So it made us appreciate being able to sit near each other again and be able to see faces.
Now that she and the kids are back,
I want the kids to enjoy learning. That's number one. So I try to do fun lessons to get them to just want to be here. I also, of course, want them to learn life lessons too, not just for a classroom, but, things that'll help them in the future, manners and respect and treating people kindly. So that kind of makes me want to get up every day and come do my job.
First grade teacher Mrs. Kelly Bayless
So we've already got, we can count on.
loves what she does because of her connection with kids.
I love it. I love kids. One of my favorite things is when they, when the light bulb turns on and they get something and their eyes get big and it's exciting. This age, their imagination's still alive. They love it. They love to learn. They're excited about it, and they have so much to learn, and the growth is incredible. So you start with, a little acorn, and you get a pretty big sized tree at the end of the year.
She and her husband recently moved from Virginia, taking their talents to the Tennessee Valley.
My husband just retired from active duty Army, so we did the 20 years, and then he got a job down here in Huntsville. So we did one last blind move where you move and you don't know anybody and you just go for the job, and then I got lucky enough to get hired here.
Bayless says she's only been teaching for about 4 years.
Oh yes, I decided to start teaching at the absolute worst time ever. So I started teaching the same year COVID hit, so I have taught in person, online. I've taught where we've got half the kids coming in and half the kids virtual. I love having them all here. This is much better. It is much more fun to have everybody in the classroom. So there's been a lot of interesting challenges. I think learning all the tech was huge for me because I'm kind of a dinosaur, so learning to teach virtually, a little bit of a Luddite.
What motivates her to keep going?
Keep going because you get to know the kids. And you know what they know and what they need to know, and you fall in love with them. And then you wake up at 3 in the morning, you're like, oh, I didn't do that right. We could do it this way better. And your husband's like, go back to sleep. You have 5 kids of your own.
Here's to our October cluster, including a Marshall County teacher who is mad about science and another who cultivates her special needs students with care.
This is the paper you'll use right here, okay?
For biology teacher Miss Melissa Kunz,
It's my dream job.
teaching has been her dream job for 17 years and counting.
When I was a freshman at Grissom High School, I just devoured biology. I loved my teacher, I loved the course, and my mom, who was a teacher, she said, I know what you're going to be when you grow up. You're probably going to be a biology teacher.
Although she's from Huntsville, she decided to extend her love for teaching to Arab.
These are remarkable students, and it's a remarkable community. This community invests so much into every single student. The faculty here is top-notch.
Like a lot of teachers, teaching during COVID was most challenging. But COVID also became part of her biology lessons.
We had a lot of misinformation being brought in by students, and they really needed the biological sciences explained to them. So we would have COVID chats. I bought my students, the whole class, lab coats. Some are tie-dyed, some are, professional white looking, but I bought them because I wanted them when we go into lab to really feel like scientists. Because when they have that lab coat on, you just see them elevate to this level of this is important, this is critical. What we're doing in lab, we're doing real life lab work.
Here's what keeps Kunz motivated each year.
I don't have children, and so I have this never-ending love for all of these students. I still have students in college, out of college, that still call me and still want to connect. I have a counseling degree as well, and so that really kicked in when COVID came, because the social emotional learning is so crucial, and those kids just really needed someone, a safe adult to talk to, and so I'm glad that it's me.
Krista Hunter.
So do you know what Main Idea is? Okay, what is Main Idea?
Has taught for 23 years and 2 years ago made a pivot to virtual learning.
I felt like it was kind of a challenge, and I felt like there was a need there.
Hunter worked with students virtually when they had the option during COVID, before taking on the task permanently.
I guess my bigger challenges was, for example, just making sure that the kids were getting what they needed with me right here and them on a screen. So it was kind of like a trial and error kind of thing at first, because I wanted to make sure that they got the full experience that kids in the classroom are getting as well.
Hunter says she gets to see her students online and in person.
I do connect with kids virtually, but I do have kids that come in small groups. So I kind of get the best of both worlds, because I still get kids that come in here and I work with small groups every single day.
Hunter believes despite moving past the pandemic, there is still a place for virtual learning.
I see that there's definitely a place for virtual learning, and I see that we kind of have broken that barrier that where kids really can, do school from home. And I think that's been a big impact as well.
No matter from one side of the screen to the other, helping kids learn is what drives Hunter every day.
Just the fact that I love the kids, and I treat my kids at school how my own kids treated. Basically, at the end of the day, kids want to know that you care.
There's January, February, March, and April.
Caroline Chisler's calling for teaching students with special needs is almost a birthright.
My mom has taught special ed for 30 plus years, and so I just grew up kind of plugging myself into her classroom after school every day, wanting to go and help prepare things for her class.
But it's not just her mom who has influenced her.
I also have family members and close friends of mine with special needs, and I just found a love for working with students.
Chisler is inching toward 3 years as a teacher, and in that time, like a lot of teachers, she faced the challenges of COVID.
So I was here December 2019 to that March, and that was just hard because I was so passionate about this position and my students, and so it was really hard taking a break from them and not getting to spend that time with them. But then just coming back and being here and getting to have them in the classroom has been really great. They bring a smile to my face, and they're just a joy to be around.
Chisler's feelings on being recognized as a top teacher?
It's amazing. I'm shocked. It's hard to have words. It's just amazing. It's just super special.
So this chapter is Wake Me Up When September Ends.
Meet Elizabeth Silvers, but she's also known as
Libby is my nickname. My kindergarten teacher asked my mother to give me a nickname because Elizabeth went across the top and all the way down the side. I guess I wrote large.
Silver's love for teaching came when she took her own kids to school. She became a full-time teacher in 2009 and has taught ever since.
The biggest lesson I had to learn from that, I just thought everyone had the same gift. I thought everyone knew the same things that I did about what should be done or what was natural to do. And I learned that it's not necessarily natural for everyone, and that I needed to appreciate the gift that God had given me.
Her peers say they see the love Silvers has for teaching.
She is wonderful. Most important thing is she loves our kids. She loves our school. I'm usually one of the first ones here every morning, and she beats me here every morning. And she's first one here and one of the last ones to leave. She works real hard.
Well, I love what I do, but every morning when we have a moment of silence, I just pray and ask God to let me see them through His eyes. Let me see what I need to do to help them, not only academically, but just emotionally. You know, they have a heart, and kids don't care what you know until they know you care.
We're full swing into fall in November, including a middle school teacher who unites his students through music, and another who taught first graders for all the 9 years she's been an educator.
Meet Family and Consumer Sciences teacher, Mrs. Catherine Graves.
I went into teaching because of several teachers that I had in the past that I really looked up to, and I wanted to be like them and make an impact on students the way that they did on my life.
Her passion for family and consumer sciences began as a high school student.
I just really loved the subject matter, and I loved the fact that kids were learning real life skills like cooking and balancing checkbooks and taking care of babies and sewing and all those things.
And her love for the subject extends far beyond the four corners of her classroom.
This is our classroom garden, but last year I wrote a grant through Ag in the Classroom and got the funds to buy the dirt and the squash, and we had cucumbers.
Mrs. Graves also secured funding for new kitchen appliances and remodeling 4 years ago.
Ms. Graves was a former student of mine. So to see her grow up and become such a superstar has been really fun for me. And she teaches a course that students realize that it's going to be beneficial to them in the future.
They motivate me to get up and do this job every day because I truly care for each and every one of them.
Do you want to sit or do you want to get down?
Sit.
You want to sit? Do you like sitting? This is my 15th year of teaching, my second year in Madison County.
Special education instructor Amanda Rowan says a close friend of hers led her to her calling.
I actually had a friend in high school who had special needs, and that kind of persuaded me to go into the special education field. And then I kind of chose to do with the younger elementary age students, just from over the years of preference.
Rowan says what compels her to come in to teach every day are the small victories.
I love seeing just the little progress. You know, in special ed, we have to look for those little moments. We don't always get to see like the big wins every day, but those little wins are so important to seeing just big progress overall.
And Rowan says there are challenges along the way.
You know, every day that we're working through, as we're working through social skills and them learning, you know, what is okay school behavior, what school behaviors we need to work through. You want more? A lot of our students are nonverbal, and so we're working on just helping them be able to communicate with us and be able to tell us what they need and what they know and find ways for them to communicate. Every student deserves to learn, and students deserve to have teachers that are passionate and are willing to fight for them and for their, you know, their rights and needs in the education field.
For Buckhorn Middle School's band director, Josh Williams.
Band is unique. It's a collection of students from all different backgrounds, and they're working together for a common goal.
This is Williams' 5th year at Buckhorn and 14th year teaching.
I like working with students. I like trying to make that impact with young people. In middle school and high school, I worked, I was in band, and I realized how much of a passion I have for that.
That passion now passed down to the next generation of musicians.
I think music is important to the students. It gives them a chance to express themselves in ways they don't normally get to in other classrooms.
And Williams believes these lessons are bigger than the band.
What motivates me the most is just seeing their success they have as not just in band but as individuals. We get to see their growth as they come in every single day.
Mr. Williams is an amazing teacher. I mean, he's able to relate to his students. He can take those hard kids and turn them into simple musical geniuses. So he's an amazing teacher. He's one of the best that we have.
Williams' aspirations 10 years from now.
I would hope to see myself still teaching. I love this community, so I'm hoping I'm still at Buckhorn working with these students. We've had so much growth in our band program.
Meet Katina Petrie.
When you get up in the morning,
she's taught for 9 years.
You can turn on the TV and you can watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
All in the 1st grade.
I waited till my youngest child started kindergarten, and then I went back to school and got my teaching degree.
Petrie says in her 9 years, she's taught at a few other schools, but says her heart is here.
I feel like that I need to stay here and help our community grow and help these kids be, good citizens for our community.
In fact, she's a product of Tharptown Elementary School.
I was here, I was part of the first kindergarten class at this school a long time ago.
But for Petrie, teaching comes with learning curves.
You have your good days and your bad days. Teaching during the pandemic, that was a little bit rough, but we survived. And, just probably the things that maybe are added to our plates each year, gets a little bit stressful sometimes. But, still at the end of the day, this is what I'm meant to do.
Her principal, Molly King, also believes teaching is what Petrie is meant to do.
Miss Petrie is amazing. Her heart and soul is here with these children and with this school, and she pours her heart and soul into them and into the school every day.
Even I think if I won the lottery,
Petrie says she'd still be here.
All in all, at the end of the day, it's about the kids. That's what we're here for.
For second grade teacher Anna Pruitt, every year,
every group of kids is different.
And she believes it takes a different kind of approach to reach her students.
I know what makes them tick. I know when they get it. I know when they're struggling and they don't want to ask for help, which is always my main goal every year that I get new students.
So when they're not outside,
there's a lot of singing and dancing in my room. A lot of singing and dancing. We make songs to everything.
This is Pruitt's fourth year teaching, the onset of her teaching career defined by COVID.
I had kids in my classroom up until March, and the day the world shut down was really difficult. I didn't have them back in my room again. It was really challenging. Being virtual was not my favorite. It was a learning experience and a learning process for everybody, but for teachers, it was something that we were not prepared for.
But it didn't stop her to press past the pandemic and fulfill her lifelong dream.
I've always wanted to be a teacher, ever since I was a small child. Before that, I wanted to work at a grocery store. That was what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to type on the keyboard and wear those long press-on nails, but God had other plans, and he was like, hey, you're gonna love kids for your entire life and you're gonna be a teacher.
December's group of inductees includes a teacher who takes her students around the world through language, while another teacher's communication is through the love she has for her kids.
Oh, don't knock her down.
The kids in Victoria Kamara's class.
They keep me going every day, and I love teaching them something new, and they're excited to learn every day.
This year for the Hampton Cove Elementary School teacher would be what some would say a lucky one.
This is my 7th year teaching in general. I taught at Holy Spirit for 2 years, and I've been here for the last 5 years.
Kamara's desire for teaching goes back to her time in school. Who inspired her?
My 2nd grade teacher, actually. And funny, I teach 2nd grade, so, her name was Mrs. Lewis, and she just really put her heart and soul into teaching. That's what made me want to become a teacher.
That heart and soul for teaching trickled down to Kamara. Just ask her principal, Lakita Perkins.
Miss Kamara is a joy to work with. She has very high expectations. She's a very happy teacher. She loves to help. Anything I ask her to do, she'll do. If kids need extra help, she's willing to stay after school. She goes the extra mile for her kids and for Hampton Cove Elementary.
She'll go that extra mile, but along the way, there are some hurdles. She knows teaching doesn't come without challenges.
No, it doesn't. But it's just amazing to have other teachers who support you and work with you. And you can go and vent to them, and they're on the same page. We're all in this together, which really helps too. So I just love Hampton Cove and my kids and my principal and everything.
Her love for this school is so strong, she plans on sticking around for a little while.
I never see myself leaving the classroom. Knock on wood, you never know. But I would love to be a teacher.
Teaching is fairly new for Sarah Parker.
This is my 2nd year. This is my 2nd career.
Although it's her 2nd career, English was always her first. But back in college,
an English degree, teaching degree, required lots of papers. And so you can't tell a 20-year-old anything. So I switched to business because I guess I thought statistics would be easier than writing papers.
Parker believes the subject is needed in every walk of our life.
The truth of the matter is you got to learn it. Even if you go work in the industrial environment, you need to write a resume. You need to be able to spell properly. You need to be able to speak properly in an interview.
And she knows English isn't the most fun subject.
So even the best English person has to just admit that English is a boring subject, and it's hard, especially when you come in and you've missed years of grammar and things like that. And so I try to make it fun.
Principal Michael Hathorn says from that fun, she fosters a bond between students.
It doesn't surprise me. She really does a really good job of building relationships with our students.
So it was painful for Parker when she lost one of her students recently.
Mo was just special. He was just full of life. And you couldn't help but love him.
Her love just enough to keep her going.
And even the days it's a struggle, I'd rather be here than anywhere else other than my home with my kids.
Here's an introduction to Tina McKenzie's classroom.
Listing how things are what? Similar, that's right.
She's a 5th grade teacher with plenty of experience under her belt.
This is my 23rd year.
And for McKenzie, teaching is more than a career for her.
And I think this is my calling.
McKenzie teaches several subjects.
Language arts, reading, and social studies.
But before taking on these new lessons,
I've taught science for many years, and that's my first love, is science.
A polar opposite from what she's teaching now, but McKenzie still went above and beyond in the subject of STEM.
I was selected by Northrop Grumman to be the first teacher fellow or teacher intern that in the state of Alabama. I teach in Madison County, and we have so many brilliant engineers and scientists that work here in Huntsville, and I teach in the shadows of Werner von Braun and those brilliant NASA engineers. And so
McKenzie says it's up to her and her fellow educators to pass on the torch.
I think that it's I think that it's expected, that we pick up all of that STEM content and pass that on to our students.
For French teacher Jennifer Hamlet,
some people would name their child Katrina or put it as...
The subject is more than a language. It's a cultural experience.
I started teaching in the fall of 1999, so it's been quite a while. I hope that I look younger than that, actually. Those numbers add up to be.
This is Hamlet's 3rd year at Sparkman High School, and between the years, she's taught both at private and public schools.
My original goal was to teach elementary school students French, and I ended up with the oldest kids, and it's worked out great.
She's even taught in Germany.
I grew up in North Alabama. Not a lot of diversity in the area where I lived, not a lot of other languages spoken, so that wasn't something I experienced day to day. When I got the opportunity to learn language, I also got the opportunity to travel. And I feel like that experience and has continued to just really shape who I am, how I see the world, how I see other people, how I interact with others. I think that it's been very beneficial. It's made a difference in my life for sure.
Hamlet hopes learning French will make a difference in her students' life too.
I think that's some of the most valuable things that they can learn, is to expand their worldview, appreciate differences, understand how other people do things differently, and that's okay.
And she hopes her students share global connection, one French word at a time.
Getting to play maybe a small role in planting seeds toward a better understanding, more cooperation between people, better communication between people, a love of things, and a desire to learn more about the world. That's a win. That's the best thing I could be doing.
Hope you enjoyed the teachers for this fall semester, but we have a little extra credit for you. Check out these moments that were not included in the stories.
Hey, Miss Petrie, we're coming in for a surprise. You have been nominated and won Fox 54's Teacher of the Week. So congratulations, you're the top teacher.
Wow, that is...
Congratulations, you deserve it.
Oh, wow.
Exactly, give her a big hand.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm
How
good.
about you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, guys, I wanted to make a little presentation here. But Miss Graves has been selected as the Fox 54 Valley Top Teacher for doing a great job with family and consumer sciences. So, Miss Graves, I am proud to present you with this award.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, you have been nominated as Fox 54 Teacher, Top Teacher. Congratulations. It's well deserved.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, how exciting.
We're excited for you.
Thanks.
Yes.
Well, that's the recess bell, meaning we're done with our look at the fall semester of our Top Teacher Special. In part 2, you'll meet the rest of the class of 2022-23, including Candace Turner, a district-wide traveler in Jackson County, and Brandon Broughton, a coach and class-ready carpenter. For Fox 54 Plus, I'm Kenesha Dees. Special thanks to our sponsor, Calhoun Community College, for their support of the Valley's Top Teacher all school year long.